Not my best work. Ryan Garcia beat the snot out of Devin Haney last night in a pretty much one-sided affair. 3 knockdowns, and it's not Devin Haney. I completely misread this fight all the way through, from start to finish, because Ryan Garcia beat Devin Haney from pillar to post. And it started in the first round, too. We're going to get into all that and more today about how Garcia beat him, what the clinch work was all about, and how he set that left hook up as we go through this episode. But the fight itself began in the first round. And I don't say that like, all fights begin in the first round. No, that's not what I mean. When Ryan Garcia dropped Devin Haney in round 1, the fight was different from then on out. Haney was timid. He we talked at length in the preview episode of this about how Devin Haney used to be a jab and clinch fighter, and against Lomachenko and Regis Prograis, he was not. He was more exciting of a fighter. In this fight, after getting knocked down, he resorted to jab and clinch. It was very reminiscent. I mean, I don't want to say Ryan Garcia is like this. I don't want to say low level either, but it was very reminiscent of Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos when Kambosos caught Lopez early in the first round and put him down. That whole dynamic of the fight changed. Lopez changed how he fought, and the same thing happened here with Devin Haney. He changed how he fought after getting knocked down. Granted, Devin Haney clawed his way back into this fight as the fight went on, so you see him kind of jabbing and clinching, so he's resorting back to that old Devin Haney that we all know and hate. Jab and clinch, because his instinct in the face of danger, especially when he doesn't have all of his wits about him, is to avoid the danger by grabbing, by holding on. And Devin Haney is a notorious clincher. But yeah, it was a good fight by Garcia. Like, I was just thoroughly impressed. So he knocked Garcia down early in round 1. He knocked Haney down early in round 1. And Haney he clawed his way back, and Ryan Garcia was like, I can't let this slip away from me. I can't let this slip away. So in round 7, he knocks him down again. So he doesn't let Haney just get into his rhythm, because once Haney gets going, it's kind of hard to deal with what he has to offer to the table, What are you going to do to a guy who's just going to jab you? It's the longest weapon. He's going to, bam, jab you, and then he's going to grab on and clinch. What are you going to do in that situation? You have to do something different. You have to change how you fight. And that's what has had Devin Haney so successful throughout his career. He was 30-0, 31-0, something like that. He was undisputed. Yeah, Devin Haney, I don't know if he was that great of a boxer to begin with, but I had Ryan Garcia winning or losing that fight leading in. I did not see. I'm gonna bring up a clip of the podcast just to kind of reference back to it in a second here, but I thought there was paths to victory for Ryan Garcia, but I thought Ryan Garcia couldn't execute those paths to victory. So what were the key factors for this? Let's go ahead actually now and let's rewind to that podcast, our preview show of this, and let's see what we talked about would be his weapons leading into the fight. So when you got a guy like Ryan Garcia who has such good gifts, you want to tailor a game plan around maximizing those gifts in the areas where a fighter like Devin Haney is not, where you can exploit what Devin Haney does. So Devin Haney, we know he's coming with a jab. Okay? We know he's coming with a real big jab. So how do you counter the jab? Well, you got to slip your head on the inside or the outside and land either a left hook or a right cross. Yeah, that's really the two big combos. And with Ryan Garcia being such a fast fighter, as basic as that sounds, that might be the way to go. Now you see that? I nailed. I said the left hook, you want to build around his speed, and Ryan Garcia's left hook and his speed are his two best weapons. Arguably his only two weapons. We're going to talk about, he has his power and stuff, sure, but that's just a puncher's chance, right? You have to be able to find those shots. And Ryan Garcia, everybody knows the left hook's coming. It's almost like Deontay Wilder. Everybody knows the right hand is coming. He's trying to club you with it. But most men, not named Joseph Parker and Tyson Fury, Cannot stop it. And Devin Haney could not stop the left hook of Ryan Garcia. As a matter of fact, all 3 knockdowns, I believe, were on left hooks. Ryan Garcia is him. That guy there. I'm not going to say he's a world beater. I don't know if he beats Teofimo Lopez, who's also extraordinarily fast. I don't know if he beats Subriel Matias or Isaac Cruz, who were very fast and very pressure-oriented and hard to knock out. But Ryan Garcia might just be the man at 140 right now, especially after a win over Devin Haney. Like, you've got to give him credit. He went there, and obviously he was 3 pounds overweight. Had to give Devin Haney $1.5 million from a bet that was brought up in negotiations. But, like, you got to give him his credit. He went in there and boxed a really good game plan and didn't let Devin Haney too far back into the fight. Now, he did let him back into the fight. He did let Devin Haney get back into this fight and make it a more even fight. But that was the thing about Garcia, is like, he's going to quit. He's a quitter. We saw him quit against Tank. Luke Campbell didn't make him quit, but Luke Campbell dropped him. So, like, is he going to quit? Maybe so. Haney, the amount of pressure and stuff he puts on, he makes people quit. Now, another thing that we said in the preview episode about Ryan Garcia was that he needs to be coachable. And we're not going to play that segment back because he really wasn't coachable in this fight. I feel like he kind of fought the typical Ryan Garcia game plan. I think really what set Garcia apart in this fight, aside from obviously the speed and the left hook and stuff, was how he approached the clinch. Now, we know Devin Haney wants to be in the clinch. We know he wants to slow a fight down and keep it at his pace in the clinch. And it didn't really occur to me that, okay, and I'm doing it's hilarious because I'm doing a study on how Francis Ngannou used the clinch against Tyson Fury, and how Fury, the preface to it is like, this is how Fury uses the clinch. He uses it to wear you out. It didn't occur to me leading into this fight, because I've never seen Ryan Garcia execute this, like, it's not even that deep of a game plan, really, but this kind of a game plan to where it's like, I'm going to tire you out in the clinch, okay? He's the bigger fighter. He came in 3 pounds overweight, but even if he cut down to 140, he still would have been fairly bigger than Devin Haney, right? So when they would get into the clinch, Garcia would hold on, and then the ref would come in. But speaking of, the ref was terrible on this night. He kept warning everybody over and over, hey, quit turning your back, Ryan Garcia. Devin, don't hit him in the back of the head. Devin, don't punch him in the back. Devin, you can punch him in the back. Go to this corner. Devin, don't punch him in the back. There was a point taken, and we'll talk about that in a second, but this guy should have taken multiple points. He was absolutely terrible as a ref. I was not a fan of his performance tonight. But Ryan Garcia, in the clinch, the ref would come to break him up, and Garcia's holding on, making Haney fight out of the clinch. I'm here for the dirty era of Ryan Garcia, because that's a clever move. You're safe. He's not allowed to punch you there. So if you're safe and he's not allowed to punch, who's to say I can't hold on in the clinch if the ref's not going to take points? Because if he's not going to take points, why would I stop? He's just going to keep warning me? Okay. You know, he's taken a point from me before for the hitting on the break. But if I don't do that, like, you can't punch me there because he's said stop punching, but I can hold on to you. And it's going to be hard for you to get out, and you have to fight your way out. And Haney complained all night to the ref, he's holding. Haney held too. Just so happens that Garcia's size really put him over the top on strength. And he's a young man now. I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to look it up, but he's a young man. And Ryan Garcia has always been like this scrawny little kid. You know, he's never been a big guy, but he's really growing into his frame now. So he was born in 1990. Oh my gosh, I'm getting old. 98. That puts him at 25 years old. Haney's young too, but Haney's not quite as grown as Garcia is. I don't know if he's on the Mexican tacos or what, but you know, yeah. This is a Mexican taco friendly podcast or show, by the way. That's a bad thing. Yeah. So yeah, Ryan Garcia really in the clinch. He's holding on, and he's making Devin Haney's life absolutely just miserable. Like, Garcia did not want to be there. I'm sorry, no, Devin Haney did not want to be there. At the end of the fight, I'm going to fast forward, but we're going to backtrack. But at the end of the fight, round 12, Devin Haney came out and he knew, like, oh, I need to finish. Or I'm toast. Or I'm going to have my first professional loss. And Garcia kind of coasted that round. But you could see after about the first, 30 seconds, Devin Haney was exhausted and tired. He just couldn't press the pace like he normally does. So yeah, let's backtrack a little bit now. Let's go to round 7. The second knockdown, really kind of where Ryan Garcia took over the fight, and kind of didn't let Devin Haney back in after that, was a left hook, knocked him down. And we talk about with his speed. So obviously the fastest way from point A to point B is a straight line, which is the theory behind the jab. If I can get there and boom, jab you, very, very, very few people can counter with that, right? There's some things you can do, slip your head to the inside and outside, and that's something that we talked about, and you remember the clip we just played. That's something we talked about with Garcia. He doesn't move his head. Instead, his chin is up. Haney caught him with that several times. So, how does Garcia counter with that fast strike, right? It's just boom, jab, straight line, and it's back. Well, Garcia's left hook is faster than Devin Haney's jab. And you can't say it's not, because he was catching him with it all night. Left hook's always great for the jab. It really is. I mean, obviously, Devin Haney's glove is to his face the whole time, but what's that do? If he drops his hands, and he dropped his hands, smacked him, put him down multiple times. That 7th round was horrible too, because once Garcia knocked him down, Devin Haney was on skates. He was not in a good way. His legs were gone, and that comes from the first round knockdown, the first knockdown in round 7, and then all the holding and the clinch to make life miserable. Comes from all that. It's an accumulation of all that work that Garcia put in, consciously or unconsciously. So, Haney clinches and Garcia hits him on the break, so the ref takes a point. There goes that 10-8 round, right? Garcia won by majority decision. It would have been a unanimous decision if he didn't hit on the break. Kind of dirty, but this is the dirty era of Ryan Garcia, so I get it, I guess. But after the point, I think, was taken or something, it was either before or after, one of those, but Haney kept hitting the canvas, but the ref, again, bad job, just keeps calling, no knockdown at all. What are we doing? It was obviously knockdowns, and you could have made an argument that fight should have been stopped right there. Garcia even said it on X, hey, I should have got my knockout, bro, and I didn't. What's going on? He looked great though. He did, and he had one answer. Everything's a hammer. When you're a hammer, everything's a nail. Everything looks like a nail, and he hammered his left hook home all night. There's really nothing Haney could do. Devin Haney had no shot whatsoever at hurting him, right? And once Garcia realized oh, Haney really does have pillow hands. He's not gonna knock me out. The respect for his power was gone. And when you realize that there's two ways that this can go now. You can obviously get I don't respect your power and get knocked out. Or you can I don't respect your power and start walking through. Think Isaac Cruz. He doesn't respect anybody's power. He walks through like it's no big. Rolly Romero's supposed to be a big hitter. He's supposed to be a fairly big hitter. And he just walked through it whatever. Tank Davis is a huge hitter. We know he's a monster hitter. And Isaac Cruz walked him down. A lot of people thought Isaac Cruz beat Gervonta Davis. So when you don't have a respect for somebody's power, you can walk them down like that. And Devin Haney was getting walked down after that 7th round. Garcia was in complete control of that fight. It was insanity. Insane. And I think rounds 10, I'm pulling it up now, but rounds 10 and 11 were the same. Garcia, left hook, one punch in the clinch. Last 20 seconds, Ryan Garcia's shoulder roll. We'll talk about that second here. But yeah, round 10 and 11, another left wobbles and hurts him shortly. Round 11, same thing. 2 hooks in round 11. So yeah, Ryan Garcia though, he also did some stupid, like the shoulder roll thing. I said on X, I was like, imagine like both Floyd Mayweather and Ryan Garcia, like prime Floyd Mayweather and this Ryan Garcia, like in a boxing match. It'll never happen, and obviously Floyd's way better than Ryan. That's not what I'm trying to get across here, but like both of them are just in the middle of the ring, no punches being thrown. The stadium's like quiet. The stadium's quiet. You can hear like the announcers just talking throughout the whole stadium because it's so quiet, and they're just shoulder rolling. Hilarious. But Garcia used the shoulder roll and kind of, he was taking away Haney's jab, and Devin Haney did a good job of finding the left hook and the right to the body. Bradley talked about it all fight. Where he just punched Timothy Bradley was like punched right hook to the body, and Devin Haney got warned, hey, don't punch him in the back. But like Garcia's turning his back. If Ryan Garcia is going to turn his back, punch him in the spine. I don't care. Punch him in the kidney. Obviously, the kidney's on the other side of his back because he's an orthodox fighter. But still, punch him there. He should have been doing that, and he did. He did it like. I think after the first round, Garcia started bringing out that stupid shoulder roll that he does. He's not good at it at all. Like, he doesn't come with the right cross or the uppercut. That left hook's it's good from there, but I don't ever see any evidence of Garcia actually landing the left hook from the shoulder roll. Instead, he's turning his back and just not letting you hit him. I mean, and that's a fair tactic, I guess. But I just don't know, man. Like, it was just ugly, really. He's getting punched in the back, and Devin Haney finally started throwing the left hook. Obviously, I think after Garcia started doing that, his corner, his dad was like, throw the left hook to his face if he's going to lean like that. As soon as he started throwing those left hooks and that right to the body, Garcia kind of stopped shoulder rolling. He come back with it again. And, he got past Devin Haney doing this stupid shoulder roll. I like lit him up. I called him uncoachable. After his Oscar Duarte fight where he kept shoulder rolling, and Derek James is like, hey, stop doing this. What are you doing? This is not what we trained. But if Ryan Garcia does want to add the shoulder roll to his game, great. But let's build some weapons off of it, right? So obviously, we talked about the left hook on my film study of MMA UFC champion Alex Pereira, and my friend Miguel Class came on, and he did a section on Tim Tszyu, who has a really good left hook, right? And what he says is, Tszyu, he gets behind his shoulder, and the weight naturally goes to the back foot on the left hook, which is just the mechanics of it. That's a good left hook. Doing the shoulder roll and getting on your back foot's a perfect spot to do that. And that seems like a great addition to Ryan Garcia's game. And if he's getting by with it against Devin freaking Haney, great. Awesome, I'd love to see it. But it needs to get better, and he needs to drill it. And it did look better than the Oscar Duarte fight. I will give him that credit because he kind of did have a couple more punches off of that. He used it a little bit better. Now, he did turn his back a lot, and he turned his back against Tank Davis too, and that's what got him knocked out. But that ain't it, That's just kind of, it was ugly. So, Ryan Garcia, what's next for him? After beating Devin Haney, he's due a big fight. He can get another big fight. 140 is a good division. Devin Haney, he just beat. So, there's a rematch out there, but I don't buy it. Subriel Matias, probably not fighting him. I think they're making him versus Isaac Cruz. Please, for the love of God, make that fight. Teofimo Lopez might come calling because Lopez can beat him. Lopez is a clever, slick fighter, so Lopez can beat him. But Garcia's, again, everything's a nail. Everything looks like a nail when you have a hammer. Regis Prograis was in talks to fight Ryan Garcia. Him coming off a loss, though, he'd take a couple wins. Josh Taylor, I think, is retired. You got Richardson Hitchens, Gary Anton Russell, Jack Catterall's fighting this weekend or in a couple weeks. He's a really good one. He just got his win over Linares. He's fighting. Oh, Josh Taylor's not retired. No, go figure. Catterall. He's fighting Catterall. That's a good fight. Oh, that's a good fight. When is that again? When are they fighting again? 25th of next month. Yes. Sandor Martin. That'd be a good one. Sandor Martin. Jermaine Ortiz would need a win or two. I don't see him getting it after losing to Lopez. Is close. I mean, he lost to Lopez and Lomachenko. That's just 2 losses, but they were like super close. So he brings a lot of good stuff to the table, you know. I like him. Rolly, they were rumored to fight, but Rolly doesn't bring anything to the table for Ryan Garcia except for a name. So, yeah, there's some good fights out there for Ryan Garcia, you know. As for Devin Haney, back to the drawing board, man. We need big fights. Shakur was another one that said, hey, I'll fight you, Ryan. Obviously, Shakur would fight him. Shakur's a southpaw, and he can take a lot of stuff. You know, Gervonta Davis might go up there and fight him, too. Let's run it back. You want your loss back, bro? Come on. Come get it. That kind of a thing. But, yeah. So, Ryan Garcia, you know, he's really good, and I'd rather see him against, a southpaw. So, like, Shakur or Garcia, not Garcia, Teofimo Lopez or something, because that'd be really fun. He's really good against southpaws. He finds that lead hook to the body. That left hook's already so strong, he throws it to the body really well. So that would be a really fun one. Him versus like Shakur or somebody. Or the winner of Subaru Matias and Isaac Cruz if they do fight. I like to see that too. That'd be really fun. But yeah, his left to the body against the southpaw. Give it to me all day, every day of the week.